I remember dying in the Blackfoot River. Everyone else remembers me being rescued. This happened around 1980 or 1981 when I was 7 or 8 years old. We lived in Bonner, Montana, a small town about 5 miles east of Missoula. One weekend, my older brother and I were out with a few neighborhood kids. There wasn't much to do in a town that small, so we made our own entertainment. That day, we decided to climb an old steel bridge over the Blackfoot River. The bridge was closed to traffic. A narrow sidewalk ran along one side, but not the other. Below us, the spring runoff had made the river high, fast, and bitterly cold. My brother and I climbed onto the truss above the sidewalk. We ran and skipped along the steel, enjoying the other kids' amazement at how brave we were or how brave we thought we were. Then we crossed to the truss on the other side. This side had no sidewalk beneath it. It also had a warning spray painted on the steel, a question mark, followed by words saying that bad things would happen to anyone who passed it. My brother and I looked at each other and laughed. To two reckless children, it wasn't a warning. It was a challenge. We climbed up and crossed it. Another boy followed, but he was too frightened to pass the question mark. So my brother and I began teasing him as we ran back across the truss. Halfway over the river, my toe caught on one of the rivets. I pitched toward the side without the sidewalk. For one brief moment, I managed to cling to the steel. Then my hands gave way. I fell about 40 feet into the Blackfoot River. I hit the water hard enough to knock the air from my lungs. The cold stole whatever breath I had left. I was normally a strong swimmer, but my arms and legs wouldn't respond properly. The current carried me beneath the bridge before my brother even understood what had happened. By the time I reached the concrete pylon, I was underwater. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't swim. I couldn't fight the river anymore. Then something changed. All the fear disappeared. A peaceful, almost sweet feeling of surrender washed over me. I looked upward through the haze of the water. The last thing I remember was the pale light of the sky above me. And then I woke up on the riverbank. Panicked strangers surrounded me. They told me a completely different story. According to everyone else, after I fell, my 9-year-old brother somehow climbed safely down from the top of the truss. He reached the concrete pylon just as the current swept me past it. He jumped into the river, grabbed hold of the pylon, and gave me his other hand. At that exact moment, an off-duty firefighter happened to be driving along the highway. He saw what was happening, left the road, reached the riverbank, and somehow had a 50-yard rope with him. He threw it out and pulled us both to safety. That was the story printed in the local newspaper. But it isn't what I remember. I remember being underwater and completely helpless. I remember surrendering. I remember the light fading through the water. To me, I didn't nearly drown. I drowned and then woke up in a version of events where an impossible chain of coincidences had saved me. My brother doesn't remember my version. No one believed me when I tried to explain it. The newspaper even reported that I couldn't swim, which wasn't true. The children at school mocked me so relentlessly that the next weekend, I went cliff jumping just to prove I could swim. Decades later, the two versions still don't fit together. Maybe the cold, the impact, and the lack of oxygen distorted my memory. Maybe my brother and that firefighter really did perform a rescue so extraordinary that it feels impossible. Or maybe the child who fell from that bridge never came back to quite the same reality. What do you think happened on the Blackfoot River?